So we are pretty close to Christmas, and then just a week out, we will be doing New Year's, and it will be 2024. So next week, since I'm right here on this topic, next week, which will be, no, next week we'll still have our call, but the following week, the week of Christmas, we will not have our Thursday call because that will be right in the middle of the whole Christmas week. So next week, because today is the 19th, and so this Thursday, today's the 14th. So next week, the 21st, will be we'll still do our Thursday morning call, Thursday evening, whatever part of the world you're in. And then on the 28th, that week between Christmas and New Year's, we will not have our Thursday call. We'll be doing a lot of stuff. People are visiting, family are coming in. So on the 28th, we will not have our Thursday call. And then we will follow up in New Year's 2024 on January 4th. So we will be talking next week on the 21st, but I thought I would just throw that out there. And of course, I will say it again next week on the 21st of December, which happens to be my brother's birthday. So, all righty, that's a little FYI on our calls, because I really love our calls so much and how much fun we have talking and sharing and learning. And that's what it's all about. It's all about talking, sharing, and learning. And you know how we go back and forth. And I started again, and I just love doing it. Now, I always do my affirmations, but sometimes I spend a little bit more time looking up different affirmations, positive words of affirmations. And there are so many things out there on the World Wide Web. There's no way you can be limited on positive affirmations. So if you think of a few and you're like, I can't think of anything else. I can't think, oh yeah, okay, yes, I'm smart, I'm beautiful, you come up with all these affirmations, I'm strong. When you run out of words of affirmations, Google it. You will find so many other words of affirmations that you didn't even think about, and you can add that to your list. I was listening to Joe Osteen. I listen to him on Sunday mornings, and he does one also where he says, it's long. I had it written down. I don't have it in front of me, but he says, I'm not average. I'm not mediocre. All of these beautiful words that he says at the beginning of his sermon, which are great words to say, and just feeling it, believing it. I know Rick is working on the 2024 goals that we send out to everybody. And we're adding that little piece there, that piece that is so important that you have to feel it. You have to believe it. You have to see yourself in that position. You have to feel and imagine how it's going to feel when you achieve whatever your goal is. Because even if we go back as far as The Secret, and that's when I first heard of Lisa Nichols and Michael Beckwith and Bob Proctor and, all these different motivational speakers, they were on The Secret, the movie, the video. And that's what they would say. There was a part in there where they talked about the gentleman who couldn't walk. And of course, he pictured himself walking out of the hospital front door, how it's going to feel, how his legs going to feel. I mean, he really thought about that. And then there was a gentleman who was sitting in his car, and he could smell what the car smelled like. And so just taking it all the way to that feeling. And then really spending time on what it would feel like. What it would feel like, what would it be. Does somebody want to share?
Hey, Brenda, I just wanted to just jump in real quick. Affirmation, you know what an affirmation really is? Is you coming into agreement with yourself. Simple as that. Believe yourself. But I am
Mm-hmm.
great. Yes, I am. I'm outgoing. Yes, I am. And you just keep repeating it. Like you say, it reprograms your thought process. You begin to believe in yourself. You know, you build yourself up and you go out, and no matter the opposition, no matter the results, no matter how the day goes, you still have that foundation within yourself. So you get up the next day and go about it again without the weight of discouragement or without the weight of disappointment or anything like that. You wake up rejoicing, say, hey, it's another day. Literally, it's a blank canvas. The day is what you make it and what you believe it to be. And if so, you're constantly coming into agreement with yourself, I don't see how you can lose.
That's true. That's true. Anybody else? I walked into my office here because I wanted to get my little book. You know how we talk about how you should write things down and say it over and over. And I know we used to do this a lot. And I started with my book again. And because at first I said, why am I going to wait till 2024? I've done this before. And so I have some old things and I have some new things, and I'm writing some things, and always remember to fall asleep with a dream and to wake up with a purpose. I didn't write the year that I wrote that, but I thought that was pretty powerful. And then always remember, never stop dreaming, never stop believing, never give up, never stop trying, and never stop learning. And so that's a pretty powerful statement, never stop learning, because the more you learn, the more you earn. That has not changed. It's always been the same. And then I like this one that I found. If you want the rainbow, you have to put up with the rain. And a lot of times we're like, oh my goodness, what am I going through? I don't want to do this. But at the end of it all, it's your goal, it's your dream, it's what you want. And so don't let's stress out on the process, but just stick with the goal and the dream. And even though 2023 is not over, and there's really spectacular things that could still happen in the last a few weeks here we have to go, but 2024, write it down. We were talking about this earlier. I don't remember what call we were on. And, Rick always does where he writes like 2024 is over, and all the things that has happened in 2024, what he achieved, what happened, and how 2024 turned out for him. And then I was saying how I never thought this year, last year, and even talking to my daughter yesterday and this morning in Colorado Springs, there's a snowstorm. And, she was born and raised there, so she knows how to drive in the snow. It's not a big deal. But even the pictures that she showed me, I went, oh, no, I remember it's freezing. It's cold, And I wake up this morning, and it's cool here. It's not hot like it normally is in the summer. It's cool here, but the sun is shining. The trees are barely turning, different colors for the foliage. And here we are in December, and we still have trees that are fully green. And I don't even know if they will turn on or not, because they might be evergreens. Who knows? I'm learning because this is the first time I've been down here. But still with the snow. And then last year around this time, of course, it was snowing like it's snowing today. And looking out the window going, oh, I'm so tired of snow. Not even realizing that, before the year is out, you're going to be in a warmer climate. You're going to be, in a nice little place, closer to family and closer to your family. And so that's what's so spectacular about when you write things out. And Rick, I was like, oh, maybe we can end up in a 55 plus community. And Rick's like, no, I'm going to get no 55 plus community, because then everybody got hip issues and knee issues and all these different issues that happen. And I said, oh yeah, I want to live in a young neighborhood. I want to be the oldest couple in the neighborhood. And sure enough, across the street, we have a young family, and they have three young girls, a 16-year-old son, and right next door to them, there's another young couple just starting out their life with their 2-year-old and their newborn. We are literally surrounded with youth. We are surrounded with people just starting their lives. And I think about how we ask for that. I get up in the morning and the school bus is going by, picking up kids and taking them to school. It's a young community, and they're striving. And you have the guys going into the military, going to work with their uniform on. And then I'm quite sure there's more retirees here. I haven't combed the whole base to know, but I'm quite sure there's more. But then you see the young couples walking their dogs, and I was like, man, and you see the young ladies with the babies in the stroller, and they're running around, the neighborhood. And I was like, wow, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be around youth life. And that's what I'm around. And so we can't take for granted our thoughts and our feelings, and even sitting there in the window looking out at the snow going, oh, I know there's going to be a day when I don't know what day, but I know there's going to be a day when I can look out of our window and not see snow. And matter of fact, as I'm looking out of our window now, here's a gentleman riding his bike, down the street. And the other day, there was 2 guys in a convertible driving down with a convertible. So do not sell what we're telling you about affirmations and feeling and believing, because that's how it comes to pass. That's why vision boards are so important, because the vision board is supposed to be something that you see and you visualize. And I think where you have to go further with that is you have to imagine and really feel and believe that you're there, and this is how it's going to be, whatever it is that you want. And I think when we really get that next piece, because we do our vision board, we do our affirmations, but the next piece is feeling it and believing it. And when I think about that, and when I see the people walking around, and when I see the little kids, because we have this old metal swing, I don't know how many steps away from our back patio, but the kids run past here and they'll jump on that swing and they'll swing for a minute, and then they'll keep running because they have little different clusters of swing sets. Just the other day, Rick walked, it was a little walk, but he walked down to the basketball court, and we were out. He's like, I need a basketball court. I'm going to go down that basketball court and I'm going to shoot some hoops. And sure enough, we bought a basketball, and he walked down to the hoop and he shot some baskets. And I think all of that is what we spoke about, what we talked about, what we believed in. What kind of exercise are we going to continue to do? Well, I used to always complain because Colorado Springs is very hilly. And it's from one hill to the next hill. It's just the mountains, the Rockies is what's called. And so I came here and I'm like, that's a hill. And I had to laugh at myself because that's not a hill. It might be a short little incline, if that, but it's really funny how, and it's very, very great to get the feeling that, wow, I wrote this down. Okay, next step. What's the next step? What else do I want? Because it's all up to you. And even with our Surge 365 business, what do you want with the business? What do you see yourself doing? We used to talk about going up on the stage and receiving rewards and receiving the checks and how that would feel and what you would do with it. I know we would have, we'd do a presentation and we would start because you bring in 7 people with the $499, the $500, and you receive $1,000 bonus. That's one of our payment plans. You receive the $1,000 bonus. And one of the questions we used to ask at the beginning of a presentation is, poof, you've bonused, you brought your 7 people in. Now there's other ways to earn a $500 bonus. You get take your class, You get exempt with 2. Now you only need 5 to get the 7, and then to get the $1,000. And now you have 5. You get a $500. So there's some more. But when we first started out with that $1,000 bonus, that's a question we would ask people before the presentation would start. And we would ask them, okay, you've bonused, you have your $1,000. What are you going to do with it? The key is you cannot spend it on a bill, and you cannot save it. So you had to spend the $1,000. And it was really interesting. Every time people would travel with their money, they would go somewhere with that $1,000. And then we had to throw something in, because just the other day, my friend gonna text me and say, "Oh, I got another $500 check, and I still have the $1,000 check that I haven't cashed yet." And I said, "Oh, so you sitting on $1,500 weeks before Christmas, and you haven't cashed it yet?" I was like, "Okay, you go put that money in the bank, take pictures of the check. If you want to keep looking at it, take pictures of the check, but put that check in the bank." But so that's my buddy, and if she wants to identify herself, she can. But I thought that was really funny, because we asked the question, what would you do with your $1,000? And people had so much fun with that. And people were traveling and taking a cruise, or flying here, flying there, or going down to Miami, or going up into the mountains to the different ski resorts, because everybody has different lives, different goals, different dreams. And so that was a good question. That's something that we might even consider doing again, when we get going with our bonuses. And we could even do the $500 one. Yes, somebody want to share?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that thing. The fact that we can earn $1,000 bonus, the fact
Mm-hmm.
that we can earn $500, and when you think back, that seemed like a lot of money. We in
Mm-hmm.
the past we got turned down for $1,000 loans.
Look, we got turned down by the
I'm like,
milkman.
man, what y'all talking about? You getting turned down? But the fact that we have the ability, we have a business, a real business, that if you do this, you get paid that. If you do, and like clockwork, you get paid. That's amazing. That's amazing. Beyond a job, just over broke, journey on the way to brokenness. The money you make goes just on bills, and the boss makes you jump out of bed. The fact that beyond a job, you have the ability, we have a business, a real travel business. Ron was talking the other day, Ron and Linda Clayton, and he was talking the other day when he first came into, at the time, YTB, and he said, "I mean, this is a real business." And he says, Rick, I was over in Europe before you even blinked once I joined YTB. And it's true. I'm like, where did they go? They're in Europe cruising on a Viking River cruise. And Ron said, Rick, I have been dreaming about this cruise for 25 years. And so when I saw that this is a travel business, all those Viking River cruise magazines that I have been studying and looking at, I'm telling you, dream, because your dreams will come to pass. Okay, hold on. Is my volume low?
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
hopefully that's better. I don't know if that's better or not.
Yes, that's better. Uh-huh.
But hopefully that's better. But your dreams will come to pass if you just hold on to them. Dream big and include others. But Ron said, when I saw the business, he said, I saw the fulfillment of my dream. That's why without a dream, people perish, because it's the dream that moves you forward to your future. And when you have a dream, you can make sense of the things that are around you that would help you in your dream or hinder you in your dream. It makes your present make sense if you've got a dream for the future. And then you know what books to read, you know what people to associate with, you know what to keep fill your mind with. You know, if you have a dream, it keeps you on point, it keeps you on target. And he sure did when he came into business. And we can't put a dream in people. That's something that we cannot do. You know, you can tell them about your dream, you can make suggestions for a dream, but it has to be something that comes within or makes sense or resonates within them. And we can't do it for people. We just barely do it for ourselves. You know, and I know in the business, is that somebody?
Yes, but you go ahead and finish.
No, go ahead.
I was just sitting here thinking about all that has been said. Thank you for your input. And we have not arrived yet. Okay. I was sitting around a gentleman yesterday. He's about 80, talking about he's going on his world cruise. He leaves in a couple of weeks. He is going to be gone on a cruise for 4 months.
Yep.
So if you
Yes,
if you
yes.
determine that your age is what's the thing that's determining your limits, I'm not her. No, no. We still have much to experience. We still have people to bring along, and we're in that community where you will see people running by, you will see people on sleds, you will see people just on some of the most funnest things experiencing life. And you get to choose to participate, and you also get to choose what success is. Nobody can determine what success is for me.
True.
So live your life, enjoy it. It has to be a definite measure, though, when you're talking about goals. And some of the things that I'm looking at here, some of the things that we do that keeps us in pace with life is some of the questions we reflect on, coming towards the last few days of the year. What went well this year, past year, this year? What can I do better? What can I do differently? How can I improve? And then we have a written out what we call goals: spiritual, mental, physical, financial, business, career, legacy goals, mission. Who am I and what am I here to do? Vision. What do I see? And your plus your success habits that are your daily. What am I working towards? Even if it's one goal. I was listening to Denzel Washington this morning. He says, I give myself a daily goal. He says, and sometimes it's really just a simple goal. Let me have the right mindset today of success. Let me be the person to be a helper in my community today. And he says, give yourself a daily goal and have something that you're reaching towards in a dream. What are you dreaming about? I'm looking at the vision board and on here, and we had all this. It's like, don't forget about your goals and dreams that you've had. That $10,000 bonus is sitting right there on that page. Get those vision boards. When is the last time you looked at your vision board? Have you created a vision board? Those are some tiny little things that direct our path towards where we're going. It's like a roadmap towards the destiny that we're heading towards. I just wanted to share that. Back to you, Rick and Brenda.
Wow, that's good. Did you want to say something, Rick?
I was just saying amen. I was just thinking as you was talking, man, it's I know Ed, you talk about this a lot too. The things that we're doing are actually more spiritual in nature than natural. It's almost like you can't you can't work hard enough to do this. You can pray hard enough to get information specifically on what to do. But just in the natural realm, you can't work hard enough to do this without burning yourself out because you can't sustain. The body cannot sustain the work the world says you need to do to get this done. Now, that's not that you don't work hard, but you're working smarter and you're getting insider information on what specifically to do. Brenda and I are 7-figure earners in this business. Now, we work hard, but we work different. And, you know, the hard work is not what actually did that. The prayerful, smart work is what did it. And that's been my experience. Of course, everybody has their own experience, but that's been my experience. So for me to rev up and say, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and I'm not going to go to sleep, I'm going to fall asleep because I work so hard. I don't know. That, you know, I look around at the people who exhibited that behavior and they're not around, you know, because it's not sustainable. And I can only give the examples that I have lived and I've learned and I've experienced. And that has been walking in purpose on purpose, like you were saying, and Chantel, all the different things. Who am I? You know, what did I do best last year? What can I do better? You know, what is my purpose? You know, what are my goals and my dreams? What am I affirming to myself every day? What are my daily habits of success every day? My daily thoughts towards success? You know, those are the types of things, you know, that get you ahead. I can say specifically for myself, obedience opened doors. Obedience for me to the Word of God opened the doors that I simply walked through, and He did the work. He showed me what to do. He did the work. He did the heavy lifting. And this is not, of course, a spiritual call, but we always, you know, talk spiritual. To go to that next level, it's not hard work or working hard. It's finding out the door of obedience, I believe, that opens the door to be permitted to the next level, to walk to to the door of the next level. And everybody is different. What is required of you? It may come down to, why do I need to create wealth? Why do I need $500? What am I going to do with $1,000, $10,000, $50,000? And it's not like you have to all give it all back. I mean, whatever that thing is, you know, you just have to think about that. Why should I be blessed with $50,000? What am I going to do? It doesn't have to be some holy roller type thing either. I need to go on a world cruise, or I need to do this for my church, or, you know, whatever that may be. Money comes on assignment. What are you assigning that money to? What's your assignment for that money? Man, when you start praying like that and believing like that and you walking, you guys hear me say all the time, I create wealth. You know, whatever it is I need is created. You know, okay, Father, we need to do this, boom. We need to do this, boom. We move down here, boom. You know, back to you, Brenda.
You know, when you said that, what I do with 50,000, it reminded me when we were at Cameron's house for Thanksgiving. We sat around and we just played this game where you had, I think he started off with $100 million. You start off with $100 million and you have to spend that amount of money in a certain, now at first it was just spend it. Then when he got to me, he gonna change the rules. You have to spend it in 24 hours. But it was fun because that's a lot of money. And it really pushes, it expands, it widens your dreaming, because you can buy a house, you can buy a nice little penthouse overlooking Park Avenue in New York City, but that's only like $20, $25 million. You still now have $975 million that you have to spend. So it was a fun game. We laughed and talked. I spent my money so fast. My son was like, "Man, Mom," but it was fun because when you know how much things cost, and you can drop, and say, okay, I'll do 5 million over here, and I'll give somebody 5 million over here. And he was going with his calculator and deducting what you were buying each time, and then he would tell you how much money you had left and blah, blah, blah. So it was a fun game, and it really allowed everybody to start dreaming, and you kind of see where you are, because you do the basics. Okay, I have all my credit cards are zero balance, all my debts are paid, all my house is paid off, blah, blah, blah. And then you still have like $875 million left to spend. And it was a fun game because it allowed everybody to dream, and you could see where everybody's dreaming. We had to put stipulations on my son because he wanted to invest, so we couldn't let him invest it. He had to spend it. So everybody had things that you could do to stop you from blowing, to keep you to just blow the money. Because our first thing was like, oh, I got to save this. I got to make sure I have this in order, blah, blah, blah. But it's all fun. It's all fun. That's just like rolling back to the $1,000. Because yeah, we can blow that right from our living room couch on bills. But no, you have to have fun with it. And that kind of makes you start dreaming, make you laugh and talk. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna just go ahead down to the mall and have a shopping spree, just buy really, well, if I went out here, I'd probably buy one Louis Vuitton bag. But it's all about just having fun and just enjoying. And I think that's another thing we have to remember too, is with all this that's going on, we still have to have fun. We have to still enjoy where we are. We can't get caught up in the fact that we didn't walk across a stage this year. And we can't get caught up in what we're going to do. And I had this one little saying, let me see if I could find it. I thought it was a real good saying. And it says, the greatest glory in living lies not in never failing, but in rising every time you fail. So I thought that was really good, because a lot of times we don't meet our goal and then we start beating ourselves up. No. Learn from that. Find out, like Chantel was saying, what did you do in 2023 that you do not need to do in 2024? Or what did you do in 2023 that worked so you could do more of that in 2024? So when you go and you look at everything that you have lived, when you look at your life, just weed out the stuff that didn't work and add more of the stuff that worked. Because I know listening to these motivational speakers, it puts me in a different whole mind space. So where do you have to get to achieve your goal and do what you want to do? So I think all of that is real important. And even with your business or the different things that we do, because some of us still have a 9-to-5, some of us still have money coming in different ways. What would you do? How would you do it, to be where you want to be? Yes, go right ahead.
Even in that, what you were talking about, have some fun, but you know what? It's in the learning too. Those tools that you were talking about, the game that you played, the monopolies when you're growing up. That's how we got a lot of our training, through doing home-based business and network marketing. It's through, there was a game called in a company, one of our first companies, a game called Cash Flow Quadrant. And you could have fun playing this game, but you were learning business, how money flows and where you want to be. So you can have the fun, but you know what? You can choose the fun you have and learn while you're doing it and then apply it. Back to you, Brenda.
Wow.
That's true. That's true.
One of the things that...
Did you want to say something, Ray? Rick, your volume keeps going down and down. I don't know why.
Okay, I think probably because I'm away from the mic.
Okay, get it. Come back to the mic. Come back to the mic.
That may be why.
Brenda, this is Darlene. I
Go
just
ahead,
want to
Darlene.
say,
Yes.
coming into money like that, you have to be in the right frame of mind. There are
Yeah.
so much that I see, especially with like movie stars, R&B, you know, the record
Right.
recorders.
Those hip hop. Mhm.
Oh yeah, those people, you know, how in the world do they make all that money and wind up broke? You know,
Right.
it's
That's right.
just like they get it and they think they have to have 10 vehicles. They gotta have 4 different homes, and you know,
Right.
it just doesn't make any sense to me if to get that much money and then wind up with nothing. You know, because me,
Right.
Yeah, professional athletes.
I would be stingy. Yeah, athletes.
Yeah.
I would be stingy with my
Mhm.
money. You know, it would be a
Mhm,
certain way
mhm.
that I would spend it, is a certain way that I would invest it and stuff like that. And I'd just be thinking, if I had that money, there would be nowhere in the world that I could not, you know, survive on it and live and enjoy life with not having all that stuff. You don't need to have all those things to be like there's
Right.
the guy that he always buys used clothing. He doesn't buy anything new. He saves all his money and he helps his country, and you know, and they're wondering how come he got all this money. Well, he doesn't buy real jewelry. He buys cosmetic jewelry, you know, that
Right.
stuff, you know, and he still has his money. But I just can't understand people getting all that money and then wind up broke. So you have to be in
Right.
the right frame of
And
mind
you
to
know,
be able to accept getting
there
that.
you go. The right frame of mind.
Mhm.
And see, that's where you are, Darlene. You could handle your money, but just like we know, even with Michael Jackson, he ran out of stuff that he could buy. He started buying monkeys.
Yeah.
He started, you know, because he just, what else was I going to buy with my
They're
money?
simply
And I
homes,
think
but they need to be put on tags.
that's somebody. I think somebody's on need to mute. But another thing too, when you get all that money,
How are you doing
I
today?
think people
Go ahead,
need
Steve.
to think about who they can. Rick, we can hear you if you're having a conversation with
Somebody
someone.
was trying to
What
speak.
I think. Oh, okay.
Who was that trying to speak?
I don't know.
iPhone. Okay, go ahead, Brent.
Okay. So no, what I was saying is when you have that kind of money, what another thing people don't do, and when you look at different people who are successful and they stay successful and they keep their money, like even LeBron James,
Mhm.
he went back and he just bought his mama a serious little, what is that? It's like $100,000 Volkswagen Jeep or something. It's just it's a nice little car for herself. Because in Akron, Ohio, he goes back and he starts this youth center.
Yeah, give back to the community, you know.
Yes, yes. He's giving back to the community because even he knows that he can't spend that kind of money in a lifetime.
Right.
But because that's where he grew up, and of course his mom was a single mom, had him when she was 16, and so of course he's gonna take care of his mama. I mean, you know, because it was just the two of them, and also realizing that if someone gave me a hand when I was coming up,
Mhm.
I have to now turn around and give someone a hand.
Right.
And then when you see people like Steve Harvey, he does the same thing. He has a youth camp. And he tells the story about this land that he now owns, that he used to go there and dream about owning it. And now he owns it and he turns it into a youth camp, and they have camp in the summertime for these inner city boys. So the ones who end up broke, I think they are the ones who did not think of others. I think they are the ones who only were selfish. And when they realized they could not buy enough, then they started blowing it. And then another thing too, people try to fulfill something that's missing in their life. And they think they're going to fulfill it through stuff. You can't fulfill it through stuff. We have a friend who is on this Amazon program where Amazon just sends them stuff, they try it out, they write a review, and they get to keep it. And his wife said, I'm so tired of all this stuff, because that's all they're doing is just getting stuff. I mean, you know, they get treadmills, they get TVs, and then of course, after a certain amount of time, they can give it away as a gift. But stuff does not fulfill that inner whatever it is, be it
Hello,
hurt,
Brenda.
be it pain.
That's
Yes,
true.
go right ahead.
You know, I'll share this because it's been shared, but who you partner with makes a huge difference with these. You know, our pastor did a career in the NFL. He played for the Dallas Cowboys with Tom Landry for 5 years. He played with the New Orleans Saints. He was in the league for 7 years. Is he wealthy now? No, but he shares his testimony and he tells you why. A lot of what happens with these professional athletes, they want to do the right thing. They want to, but what it boils down to, most of them, bad choices, bad investments, and bad partnerships.
Mm.
So, and
Yeah.
that's what happened. They got together, they saw what looked like a good, I could name you some names off the Dallas Cowboys, and some of them in the Hall of Fame. They've all partnered up and went into a big investment that looked like a sure deal that went bust. So it is important. And his testimony is just so powerful. It didn't break him. It gave him motivation for where he was really headed. His life was not about that short career and the big dollars and big monies. I mean, they rebounded magnificently because of their calling and walking in that calling. But, and he shares that a lot. It's a good place to be, to listen to the wisdom, learn from somebody else's mistakes instead of making them yourself. And, but partnerships and bad choices, bad accountants. If you watch that movie, Big George Foreman, we were sharing before, what does he do when he got into the big money? He went and hired his slick buddy from back at the Job Corps to manage his multi-millions. So what do you think happened? He lost it all. They tried to do the right thing, but bad investment, it was all gone, but he didn't give up. And look at him now. I think he's worth $300 million because he got the right motivation, made the wise choices. So, you know, it's just a lot of different ways.
When you, it's
Go
a
ahead,
lot,
Brenda.
and when you say who you associate yourself with, what you have to do is you definitely have to have a checks and balance. Because see, I would have Darlene take care of my money, because Darlene ain't gonna let my money. Darlene ain't gonna let that money go to waste. And she's gonna definitely be like a check and balance. No,
You're right.
who is that? You know, I'd be like, where's Darlene? Because she did my account. I want her to watch my accountant. You know, so that's another thing too. You have to associate yourself with the right people.
You know what? You can miss it. You can miss it. Look at what happened. Look at what we have with Serge. We have Nick Pagano. And because of some ideologies and barriers and damage that people have, they walked away from that. We have everything we need.
It's true.
If they only accept it.
That's true.
Go ahead, Brenda.
Yes, that's true.
You know,
you
have to give
go
that
ahead.
money. You have to give the money a mission. That is, you know
Yes.
what? We were so blessed to have a visionary founder like Coach Lloyd Tomer. That has been his mission from day one, that he has been pouring into this company from day one. That if I teach and train you about this wealth, and we put enough of this wealth into the hands of the right people who will do the right thing to serving their families, their economies, their organizations, or how be it that you want to send that cause out to touch a life, then you will win at life holistically. That's Coach Tomer's whole vision for being here. And he's done it. And several others have done that. But it's all about what am I purposed towards?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if I'm not willing to be the vessel to receive that, because we still have work to do on the earth, the money will not come to me. So I also have to be mindful of what do I have in my mind to make sure that I'm open to receive whatever is sent towards this purpose and this vision to touch this earth right now, whether it's a million, a billion, whatever that is. Am I open? And I need to check myself all the time to make sure I don't have any thinking stinking up in here that would try to repel that away from me, because it's still important, because that's the vision that was given here. That is a lot of the reason why we're even still here, because we came into agreement with that vision to touch this earth, one person at a time, building up leaders who have the same mindset, looking at the vision, and it's the same across the board. If go back and look at your memories, I'm looking at these memories. I'm like, every year you see the same. It's the same verbiage, which tells you the heart of that person. It's the same, same, same. So who are you partnered with? What are their beliefs? Because if you're building up a team, your mastermind, these were some of the things we talked about in the beginning for you. That mastermind is important. Who am I neck to neck with and elbow to elbow with? I love sitting in our team with the leaders that are out here running. And it's like, you know what? Not the running, just hitting at something, but the running towards purpose. That, you know what? If when I receive that 500, guess what? Or that 1,000, guess what? This man can go home and see his mother. See, we got to be real careful about some of the things. Yes, I'm going to receive the $1,000 bonuses. Yes, I'm going to receive the $10,000 bonus. Yes, because you know what? You don't know when something is going to come along that you have that check right there to pay for that person to get on that plane that is going to change and transform a life and a generation. I'm just saying. Back to you, Rick and Brenda.
Money is a reward for service. Money is a reward for service. If you want to increase your money, you increase your service. It's directly proportional. You know, the amount of money you make is based on the ability and what you've done to serve other people, and then you get paid for it. There's no other way to increase your wealth other than increase your service and your willingness to go through whatever you've got to grow through. You know, which is you're practicing something. You know, what are you learning from that thing that you're growing through that God has positioned you to take you through? Because promotion comes from the Lord. I don't care what nobody say. It doesn't come from the west, the east, the south. Promotion comes from the Lord. And so what is that thing that, and I love what you're saying, Chantel, because that's why we're in the business also, coach 10,000 financially free families is what coach always said. Everybody on this call is a leader. And of course, you determine, if you want a team or not. But if you are looking to have a team, are you that leader that deserves a team? What are you learning to be able to impart to the team? What is the gift or the skill or the service that you have for the team? 2024, your team is looking for you right now. Your team is your tribe, and they're looking for you right now, right? And where are you? Are you getting ready for them? Are you visualizing them? I got to admit, Brenda and we actually visualized the team that showed up. And it began with one person and making preparation for one person. Little did I know Little did I know that one person would bring 7,000 people to the team. A lot of times we think that we got to do a whole big work when, I want you to hear me, really all we have to do is to prepare for the one person, to prepare for the one person, which will duplicate itself. The one person, based on our willingness to prepare and understanding and prayer for this one person, will multiply into a community. What happens is we don't even prepare for that one person, that one person that God will send you, and being responsible to that. When we do, miraculous things happen. Brenda and I live in Charleston. Like she said, who would have thought last year at this time? Well, actually we did. But who would have thought that he would have answered it like that in the quickness that he answered it? We were just saying the other day, we're just now coming out of the whirlwind, the Holy Ghost trance that we've been in since the 24th of July. We're just coming out now to realize that, wow, we actually live in Charleston. Everybody on this call, God has given you a promise. He's made a promise. How do I know that? You've seen it. You've rehearsed it. You've thought about it. That promise will come to pass. The timing is of the Lord, but that promise will come to pass. I believe 2024 is that year. Rehearse the promise. Like Brenda said, feel what it's going to feel like, as God answers that promise. In 2025, we're breaking ground for our Community Empowerment Center in New Bedford, Massachusetts. And interestingly enough, now that I'm in Charleston, and the things that I'm actually doing in Charleston, and the people that I'm working with are the folks that have the access to the finances for the center. Who would have thought that the move to Charleston would be actually tied and linked to that? The center is going to be more of a performing arts center, since they have a recreation center right down the road. But it's going to be more performing arts, and in the middle of the community. And where you have all the folks who believe they're artists, whether it be singing or performing, but we're going to have a commercial restaurant in there because they have so many different cultures. We're going to make an emphasis of cultural dance, whether it's Indian, whether it's Polish, whether it's Cape Verdean, all the different cultures. We'll have one of those studio floors where they can do their dance. We're going to have competitions or at least showcasing the different cultural dances. And with the commercial kitchen, we work with the different restaurants where they can bring in samplings of the cultural food. It's going to be the #1 tourist destination in southeastern Massachusetts. And the groundbreaking is in June 2025. And giving back to the community, but also giving back to the state, giving back to the country, giving back to the world. Back to you, Ben.
Hey, Rick.
Wow.
Yes.
Go right ahead, Glenn.
It takes me back, and one thing I remember I'll never forget, the Marvin Williams Center, who we partnered with, and we are still partnered with. After such a surreal year as this, in everything that has happened, it takes me back. I always remember what Dr. Lillian said right after, Bishop Robertson, who was the visionary for the Marvin Williams Center, and I partnered with him, and we struck up a friendship that lasted all the way till he went to be with the Lord. And it was just a natural fit. And then Dr. Lillian came later, but she picked that vision up and she saw it. When we presented, Chantel and I went in there and presented before their board, the naysayer stood up first before anybody else. Now, you will always see that the negative will jump up and try to sway, take over, and convince everybody else. And people are like sheep. I hate to tell you, they will follow off in that direction. And as we're talking, and there's more to the story, but I'm going to cut straight to it. As we're talking, Dr. Lillian saw it, and she was fresh in here from Houston, but she saw it. And no matter what those board members said, when she got home, the neck can turn the head. And she told him, we're going to do this. He called up the next day and said, run it. Let's do it. Now, little did we know that once they got fully up and he cut the ribbon on that, he'd been dealing with illness in his body for 25 years and nobody knew it except the two of them. And when they cut the ribbon and got that center up and running full and then got her position to take it over, the Lord brought him home. What she said to the congregation and the supporters of that center, she said, if you think I'm going to earn hell and run back to Houston now, you got another thing coming. And we have the same resolve, because you better not bet the farm that we're going to fold the tent, because you're going to be pushing the cart if you do. Back to you, Rick.
Well, and see, Glenn, you passed on the vision to me, which I have a responsibility in Christ now to keep the vision alive, keep hope alive, to keep the vision alive, to do the things that God has placed in my heart based on what you have shared with me. And me taking the torch as you've passed the torch to me. Back to you, Brenda. Brenda,
Did you say back to me?
yes.
Oh, okay, I could hear you going in and out. So, yeah, that is so true. Once you get those dreams in order and you write it down, I was sitting here reading some stuff that I have been writing down, and I'm looking forward, because usually when you give me your 2024 goal sheet, I'm like, oh man. In the past, it always seemed like it was a task. But I've been writing a lot lately. I've been writing a lot lately. And so I'm looking forward to it, because it's going to be, for me, in my mind, something that I can write down and just enjoy writing it down, and writing down 2024 exactly the way I want it to play out. You know, it's my story. I'm the author of this book. I have a blank canvas, however you want to say it, but being able to now write your story. And like you say, Rick, don't give someone else the pen to your story, because it's your story. That's why we would tell our kids all the time too, do not allow someone to aggravate you, someone to put you in a space that you don't want to be in. You control your feelings and your emotions. So don't give someone else the key to do that. Don't allow them the power over you. Be aware and know what's going on, and know what you want and what you don't want. I think a lot of times people forget, they forget that you control you. You don't let someone else control you. You don't let somebody cut you off in traffic and then your day is ruined. No, they missed you. They didn't see you. They got things going on in their life. Call it all good, bless it all good, and keep going. Don't allow circumstances that are out of your control to control you. Because see, there's things you cannot control. And we tend to just drop the ball and be like, I cannot believe this. No,
Hey, so Brenda,
no. Yes.
what happens, what happens is people get this, when you don't have a goal yourself, you get distracted by somebody else's goal. You got to have a goal. Otherwise, you will get distracted by someone else's goal if you do not have a goal. And that goal, like even for like Surge, You have to have a goal for life, even before surge, so that you can feel good, even if what you thought you was going to do in surge didn't happen, right? You got to have a goal, set a goal for life. And like Chantel was reading off there, whether it be spiritual, whether it be natural, whether it be community, whether it be family, set a goal beyond surge for life so that you don't get so depressed if you don't hit a goal in surge, but that you could still have the gratitude, because all things work together for good and everything is in a timing. You have to be able to keep moving forward. Nothing stops you. If you don't make team builder, if you don't make regional builder, if you don't make national builder, if you don't make director, if you don't make ambassador, the timing, keep going, keep learning. We heard, a saying, you get promoted to your highest level of competency. Start learning what it's like to be a team builder. Start learning and feeling what it's like to be a regional builder, to have the team. Start learning and feeling what it's like to be a national builder. Brenda and I had 10,000 plus people on our team as directors, as Surge 365 founding directors. That's who we still are, by the way. We're ambassadors, in fact. We're level 8 director, in fact. We are going to the higher levels by the many uses of Surge 365 as we pass that vision on to the public. I want you to hear what I just said. You don't get there by onesie twosie. You get there by understanding comprehensively what Surge is, holistically, right? And all the different aspects of Surge. That's the leader. And where you can talk to the public, and I still believe Malcolm Gladwell, he says your wealth is created when the masses get it and not before. Otherwise it will be onesie twosie. I believe we're coming into that place of the 9 billion people who were locked down, for COVID, all wanting to travel now. We have been preparing, we are ready, and the public will begin to get it. And guess what? Everybody on this call, you couldn't help but be chased down to come into this business. You're preparing. What are you doing right now to prepare for the masses that will be here looking for you? Will they find you? Again, service is merely a reward. Money is a reward, merely a reward for service. What will you have for them? I'm telling you, everybody on this call, you have been rehearsed. You know so much more than a lot of folks out there in Surge 365. You are not going to be able to dodge these people. Darlene, you couldn't dodge these people if you tried. You have become, by default, a travel guru. Chantel, Glenn, Ed, all of us, we know so much, and God, the blessing is coming for that faithfulness. Back to you, Brenda.
Wow.
Go ahead, Chantel. Were you going to say anything?
Wow. I was just thinking about, don't take for granted the work. It's what he just said. Don't take for granted the work that we have done. That counts. And I'm going to leave with this again. Enjoy today. Enjoy this moment right here. Yes, we're coming into tomorrow. Yes, we're coming into the holidays. Yes, we're coming into 2024. By the grace of God, we're thankful. We want to see that. But today is important. Who am I touching today? Who am I encouraging today? When I go in here and get this little lady in here, and she is so excited because she's about to do her dance and put up these decorations and have some fun. And it's just the awe of seeing that expression on a person's face when they feel valued in the moment with you right now. Back to you, Rick and Brenda. Thank you so much, each and every one of you.
Wow.
You matter.
That's good. That's good. Back to you, Brenda.
Wow. Make sure I'm not, oh yeah, good. I kept clicking on mute. But yeah, that was good. Enjoy the day. You know, and that's what I love to say too. You know, you have to have an attitude of gratitude every day because there's so many things that's going on. And you know, we know we have to make sure there by the grace of God go I with all the craziness that's going on. The young lady who just lost her husband on Sunday. There's so many things going on just a click away. You know, we have to thank God that we're here, we're healthy, we're going into a new year, a sane mind, healthy body, and looking forward to the future. And that's what we want to do. We want to continue to look forward to the future. And if you have not written out your goals and your dreams, you need to do it. Because when you don't do something that's been told to you over and over again, now you have to ask yourself why. Why have you not written that out? What is it because you do not believe? So therefore, if you didn't write it down, so therefore that's why it's not happening because I didn't write it down. And you're afraid that if I do write it down and it doesn't happen, then what? So
Hey,
find
Brenda,
out what it is. Yes, go right ahead.
I was going to say, excuse me, on the GoTeamGet.com website, the team website, GoTeamGet.com, under the Vision tab, you have all of that vision information that you can actually write down your visions for 2024. And you can also download the worksheet, the 2024 vision worksheet. But on GoTeamGet.com, the Vision tab. Back to you, Brenda.
Awesome. GoTeamGet.com, the Vision tab. Definitely go to that. It's a nice little starter because I know a lot of times we don't know what we want to say or we don't know how to start saying it. So that's a nice little way to get going because it'll give you an idea, a nice little jump start. It'll ask you the questions and you can start with those questions on what you want because there's so much out here for everybody. That's why when someone leaves and goes somewhere else, it's okay because there's trillions of people out here. You know, don't limit to just who you know because you don't know who you don't know. And you can meet the perfect person tonight, tomorrow, that knows everybody because they're just that charismatic and they're just that Pied Piper. So just because you don't see it now, that doesn't mean that you won't see it today or tomorrow because they're out there. People are out there. They're looking, you know, they're wanting to know what do I do next and how do I do? So definitely write it down, make it plain, say it, believe it on a daily basis. You know, I had this one saying that I said the other night doing prayer. Let me see if I can find it real. Oh yeah. To fall asleep with a dream and to wake up with a purpose. See, so we all have dreams, but let's turn those dreams and goals into a purpose. Yes, you will receive all those money, all that bonuses, but after you've paid your bills, you paid off your home, you're driving your nice car, then what? Who are you going to help? So think about like that. Who are you going to help? Are you going to put a family trust together to take care of the next generation? Because that's a great way to hold your money. You know, family trusts, they're not taxed. So look into that. There's a lot of different ways for you to put things together where, you know, you're taking care of that next generation because that's our goal. We always want the next generation to do better and to have more. And they can, especially with the knowledge that we have. So I'm already set for my granddaughter. She's going to be saying affirmations soon as she learns how to speak. We're going to have that I am strong, I am beautiful, you know, by the time she learned how to speak on cue. What's your affirmations for this morning, you know? And so once you start training them up right away, that's going to be a beautiful legacy. I can see that already happening. When I talk to her, we're not in the same state, but every time she talks to me, it's going to be like, okay, here comes that lady with this affirmation stuff. So it's all about how you want to do it, how you see yourself, where you see yourself, because Oh, wow, the time. I just looked at my watch because 24 is right around the corner. But anybody else want to share? Because you guys know we have some great conversations. We have some great conversations. And what I'm looking forward to is I'm looking forward to when we do another duplication of Jamaica and we're all there somewhere laughing and talking with the sunset and the beach, because I always want to go warm. We could go up into the mountains, but we're good. We go warm. We go warm. And we'll all be sitting around, laughing and talking, watching the sunset, talking about how we had this conversation back when, and now look at how we are all living our dreams, where our team is there, and it's all these people that want to talk to you. So we have to schedule time for us, this core right here, to get together, because you have your own team that want to talk to you, want to hear from you, want to get your suggestions. And so we have to plan a time for us to meet at whatever restaurant and sit together and laugh and talk like we do on Thursdays. So we're going to be here again next week on Thursday, because that's the 21st of December, and that'll be our last call until next year. So what I'm going to do, and what I suggest everybody do, go to goteamget.com, the vision, download that vision page, and it'll say 2024 goals. I think that's what it says, right, Rick? Okay, you're on mute, but I heard you through the walls. It is, yes.
Yes.
It's 2020. I heard you through the wall. But anyway, so yes, definitely download that. Do that by next week so we can talk about it, so we can share, so we can have some questions that we might have to have. And if we want to share, or we can ask questions on how did you start this sentence, or where did you go with this thought? And I think that'll be a nice little motivator also. So, and then start thinking about who in your team needs to be on these calls. And even if they're at work and they can only listen, these calls are good. I mean, I enjoy these calls. It always uplifts me, and it gives me knowledge. And it's just, I just love the call. So there are people in your team that need to be on these calls. So just send out a friendly reminder. I know Rick sends out a reminder on our group page, but it's nothing like getting a text from somebody who sponsored you, somebody who brought you into business, somebody who you hadn't talked about. We're getting ready to go into 2024, and we have these great Thursday calls, and I thought you might want to jump on it. Even if you're at work and you can't listen, and you can't speak, that's fine, but at least listen. And I think that would be a great way to start off 2024, inviting people to these calls so they can start participating and answering questions or asking questions on what's going on with their surge business. Because even talking about the $1,000 dream, that's something that somebody could have heard and say, oh yeah, that's right, I remember that. Or really, that's a nice little way to start a conversation. So you never know what someone needs to hear, but definitely invite your folks to these calls. Please go to goteamget.com. That's your assignment. Goteamget.com. Click on vision and scroll and look for the 2020 goal. Print it out if you can. If not, write it out, whatever works for you, whatever you're comfortable doing. Answer those questions. Spend some time alone. Think about it. Write it down. What are your answers? Why do you not have an answer? Make up an answer. Just have fun with it. And I think you'll see a big difference. So, all righty, everybody, we have definitely passed our time. And like I said, it's so great talking to everybody. Look forward to speaking with you all, if not on Vaughn's call or Monday night, but definitely next week, Thursday, on the 21st of December. So everybody have a great rest of your day, and we'll be talking. Alrighty now. Bye-bye.
You also. Shall we meet again?